Hello, welcome to another video. Sorry about the Roxor being so dirty. Today we got a couple of things we're working on. First is this carpet I got from my local Walmart. So I got worried about the floor of the Roxor, with all the little bits of dirt and rocks that it might start eating away at the floor liner. So I thought about getting a carpet or some kind of protection for the floor that can contain snow, ice, mud, and this is what I found. It's a it's from Goodyear, so I think the quality should be good. And I found out I needed to use some kind of cutting tool to separate the carpet. But there you go. That's what it looks like for the floor mats. Provide some level of protection, which I'm perfectly okay with. Doesn't cover up everything, but at least for me and my purposes, that will work. All right, so that's the first project. Second project I have was while I was looking under the hood, I realized the upper radiator hose seem to have slid back a little bit. You can see on there. But everything was tight. When I tried to pull on there, it didn't budge, but it just kind of looked to me like it had slid back a little bit. Sorry about my camera acting up with the focus. Yeah, there it is. So I went ahead and loosened that fastener and slid everything in. Previously, I had run the Roxor for a few minutes, so the radiator was warm, not absolutely hot, but just a little bit warm. So I opened up the radiator cap, had a little bit of coolant that came out, not too much, just a few ounces, if at all. I didn't capture that, but yeah, there I have the cap out, so the pressure is not in there anymore. So yep, there you go. Popped it out, take away the pressure. Then I'll just look for the right tool to loosen that, and then shove the hose all the way in to the neck of that radiator. It's kind of a longish video. My editing is not the best, but that just shows you the general area. So go ahead, don't take it all the way out. You just make it to get loose enough to where you can wiggle the hose back onto that flange, or where it's supposed to be, that neck of the radiator. And that is an 11, I believe. Is it 932? That's what I used. Yep. So just make it get loose a little bit. And all this time I'm applying pressure towards the front of the Roxor. So as soon as it gets loose enough, it will just slide forward. Right there. Then go ahead, tighten that up. Sorry again about my focus. It's just too many things moving, so the camera cannot decide where it wants to focus. And when you tighten that, remember, don't kill it. You're just trying to make it tight enough to where you don't have any coolant under pressure leaking. I verified the other end, and everything was tight. So there we go. And this is the third thing I had to do today. I got this package a couple of days ago. I just hadn't had time to get to it. Came from Dirt Legal, which is your one-stop shop for everything Mahindra Roxor. Have that nice little sticker. Nice touch. And then there was a sheet of paper inside. Let's see what it says. kind of a thank you and asking for your honest feedback when you buy from them. That helps other people who are also looking for products to determine where they source their products. So what I got today was a bracket to hold my intake. These Roxors are known when you have a tune and you use a boost valve. It takes the boost up from maybe 8 psi to about 16 psi. Then you end up with a leak on your intake. So that's exactly what the bracket looks like. And it's supposed to fit somewhere in there. Not very sure. This is my first attempt. I couldn't figure out exactly how it's supposed to go in. I had to go back to the listing online and take a look to be able to figure out exactly where it's supposed to and how it's supposed to fit in there. So it's just a random shot of the intake, the upper radiator holes, which I worked on earlier. Alright, so that's what the bracket looks like. That's just a shot. Give you an idea what it looks like, the quality of the workmanship. It's very well made. Looks like stainless steel, solid. That's where it's going to be mounted. And that's the main fuel line coming from the injector. It's held in place by 4 attachments, and you take off 3 of those. As you can see, those the 3 right there will have to come out, and that's how the bracket will sit on there. That also, you pop it out and it fits into that secondary hole you see right there. So it's a well thought out product. We'll take that out, take that off. Those attachments there, they're all 10 millimeter. Kind of hard to get to. Finally I did. So it takes a little while. It might have been way easier if I had a socket and extension with a ratchet, but that's what I had for now, for today, so bear with me. And that unit you see right there, it fits the common rail, because these engines have they're common rail diesels. When you go back and reattach everything, you want to make sure you torque it down properly. The slightest, if there's a slightest leak, you have diesel all over your engine. So we went ahead, took those off. There you have the 3 bolts that we took off. That's what it looks like without the 3. And then I fitted the bracket next. And word of advice here, when you fit the bracket, just have everything there loosely. You don't have to tighten down anything yet. Fit everything loosely, and then once you're sure everything is lined up, then you can go ahead and start wrenching on them to get everything secure. So you see, I just pointed to the left. You can see that's where the intake is well attached, but on the right side of the screen, which would be on the driver's side, there's nothing actually holding that intake. So when you build up the boost, it will pop off on the right side on your screen, and you have you lose some of your compression some of your intake air, or your boost. So those are the injector lines. The old school diesel engines, you would have each line coming directly from the fuel, the injector pump, which would be somewhere down there. But here you just have one line coming from the injector pump, and then it fits that common rail which runs along the top of the engine. and you have the high pressure on all of those lines, and what determines how much fuel goes into each cylinder would be it's determined electronically. You have the injector that would open up and allow a predetermined amount of diesel to get in there, so it's much more easier to tune these modern diesel engines. Video was kind of backwards. This should have been earlier, but bear with me. Got everything lined up. Drop those in, and like I said before, you just get them there, maybe hand tight. Make sure everything is properly aligned. The bracket will be holding down your intake, so if you tighten everything on that line below there, you will find that you are coming up short. You won't be able to snug the very last bolt at the top. So you just get everything lined up, get them started, and then you come to the top and then secure the bracket at the very top. Yep, that's number one. So you start from there. When you're tightening up everything, tighten there at the very top, and then you do the bottom three. Kind of a longish video. It could definitely have taken less than maybe 15 minutes. The whole process took me about 30 minutes, mostly because I was looking for the right wrenches. I didn't have everything with me right there. And that's the final product. That's what it looks like. Very neat. A different angle. Another angle. And another angle. You can see where I was leaking oil. And now we will start the engine up and see if we have any major obvious leak. Main thing I'm looking for here is to see if there are any leaks where you have that main line going to the common rail. Sorry, my focus is off. There, that's a little better. So we'll get the engine started here. Jump in. And yeah, could have made that shorter. I wasn't sure exactly when the engine started. And there we go. It also sounds much better, I should say, because initially it wasn't. I don't know. It was just sounding weird, but now it sounds much better. Probably it was the leak that made it sound weird, but now it really sounds great. And I'm really pleased. I think this is a very great product for anyone who has any kind of tune, no matter how mild, or you have the turbo boost valve installed, then you definitely need to have this bracket to hold your intake in place and make use of the improvements that you got. Sorry, that's me taking another perspective. Still looking for leaks, and I believe I forgot to actually close my radiator, so the cap is actually still off. In a few seconds here I'll catch that and close it up. Yeah, but my radiator was still, cap was still not in place. Another look. And yeah, I looked everywhere and there wasn't any obvious leak. And I'm very pleased with the product. And you remember from the beginning, had a little bit of goodie from Dirt Legal, that little sticker. Want to thank the guys for that. Appreciate it. And this is a perspective from inside, starting up the Roxor. I should say, since I got the cab, I'm so happy with the Roxor now. DFK hot cabs definitely make a very good product. The interior has stayed clean and dry, and it's no longer being baked by the sun like when I did not have the hot cab. So everything looks okay, everything checks out good. Forgot to put that in. There we go. No leaks. Check, double check, triple check. Everything seems to be holding just fine. Yep. And one more look. No issues to report. So at this point I got my sticker, which the good people at Dirt Legal sent to me. Cleaned up a little patch of the Roxor, and be placing the sticker right there. Hope I got it aligned correctly. If not, guys, let me know and I'll correct my error. There. Thanks for watching, and have any questions, comments, make sure you write them below. Thanks for watching again. Bye.